All right, let's tear up the rulebook, shall we? Today, we're diving headfirst into one of the most exciting, most accessible art forms out there, collage. It's time to unleash your inner creative rebel.
Okay, let me ask you something. What in the world connects that viral meme you just saw on your phone to a priceless masterpiece hanging in a museum? Believe it or not, the answer is collage. It's this amazing art of grabbing existing things and just mashing them together to create something totally new.
So, here's our game plan for today. We're going to break down what collage really is. We'll meet some of art's original rule breakers, we'll get your creator's toolkit all set up, then we'll figure out how to make compositions that really pop, and finally, the best part, we'll get you started telling your own story. So, first things first, what even is collage? Let's think of this section as your official permission slip to just stop worrying and start making things. Okay, so at its heart, the word collage comes from the French word coller, which just means to glue. But honestly, it is so much more than that. It's this whole art of picking and choosing, of combining, of giving old materials a brand new context. You're not just sticking things down on paper, you're creating a new reality with its own story.
So why is collage your secret weapon? Well, for starters, you can forget about needing to draw a perfect circle or a straight line. Nope. Here, your creativity shines through in the choices you make, what you decide to put in, and maybe more importantly, what you decide to leave out. It's an amazing way to tell stories with images you find all around you, to think a little deeper about the media we see every day. And hey, it's also super sustainable. You're giving old stuff a new life.
The surrealist artist Max Ernst, what a legend. He put it so perfectly. He called collage the coupling of two realities. Think about that. It's about taking two things that have absolutely no business being together and putting them side by side to create this new spark, this whole new idea, right there on the page. It's kind of poetic, really powerful, and yeah, a little bit magical. Now, let's hop in our time machine for a quick crash course through art history. We're going to meet the original rebels, the artists who used collage to completely flip the script on what art could be.
It really all kicked off around 1912. You've got guys like Picasso and Braque, the Cubists, and they start sticking actual real-world stuff like newspaper clippings and bits of wallpaper right onto their paintings. They were hacking reality. Then came the Dada artists, who used photomontage almost like a weapon for political protest. After them, the Surrealists used it to dive into the world of dreams. Pop artists used ads to talk about consumer culture. And today? Well, artists are using it to explore these huge, complex ideas about who we are.
Just look at the difference between Dada and Surrealism. It shows you just how flexible this whole thing is. The Dadists, they were sharp, aggressive, and super witty, using these really jarring combinations to make a political point. But the Surrealists, they were all about being mysterious and poetic, using strange, beautiful combinations to tap into the logic of dreams. See? Same basic technique, but completely different worlds. Okay, theory lesson is officially over. Now let's get practical and start putting together your very own creator's toolkit. And just remember, these are principles, okay? Not rules. There are no rules here. Your toolkit really has four main pillars. First, you've got your surfaces. That's your foundation. It can be anything, cardboard, an old book cover, whatever. Second, you've got your elements. This is the fun part. Magazines, photos, fabric, old tickets, labels. Third, your tools, scissors, craft knives, rulers. And last but not least, adhesives. Anything from a simple glue stick to something heavier like gel medium. And the best part is, so much of this stuff is free. It's just waiting to be found and upcycled. Even a super simple choice can make a huge difference. Just think about the edge effect. Cutting with scissors, that gives you these clean, sharp, graphic lines. It feels precise, controlled. But tearing? That gives you these soft, organic, raw edges that feel so much more emotional and spontaneous. Just ask yourself, what kind of vibe am I going for?
So, you've got all your materials gathered up? Now, how do you arrange them to get the biggest impact? Welcome, my friend, to the art of composition.
Even though you're working on a totally flat surface, you can still create this incredible sense of 3D space. It's all about tricking the eye. Overlapping things is the easiest way. Whatever's on top feels closer. Playing with scale is another great trick, making closer objects bigger. And here's a pro move. Use contrast. High contrast areas will literally feel like they're popping off the page, while low contrast areas will just sort of fade into the background. A really common mistake is to have everything on the page shouting for attention at the same time. A great composition needs a clear focus. You have to decide what the star of your show is, your focal point, and then make sure it stands out. That's what guides the viewer's eye and helps you tell a much clearer story. And hey, do not be afraid of empty areas. Negative space isn't just blank. It's an active, crucial part of your piece. It's the breathing room, it's the pause in the music that makes the melody stand out. Trust me, sometimes what you leave out is every bit as important as what you put in. All right, we have covered the what, the why, and the how. This final section, this is all about you. It is your turn to create something awesome. Here is a super simple 5-step process to get you rolling. First, find a theme or an idea. Second, go on a scavenger hunt for your materials. Third, and this is so important, arrange everything without any glue. Just play around, experiment. Once you find a layout you love, then you can start building your layers, usually from the back to the front. Finally, add any little finishing touches to bring the whole piece together. Need a little nudge to get started? No problem. How about an identity collage? Use symbols, colors, and words that are all about you. Or maybe a social commentary piece, using images from magazines to make a powerful statement. Or you could just let your imagination run wild and create a surreal dreamscape, combining things that don't make sense to create something beautiful and weird. Because, you see, collage is way more than just cutting and pasting. It's a way of seeing. It literally trains your brain to look at the world around you, all its little fragments and pieces, and see them as raw material for telling your own unique story. So I'm going to leave you with this question. The world is literally made of fragments, of images, of words, of textures. The only real question left is, what story are you going to tell with them?